In the serene stillness of the early morning, when the world was just beginning to awaken, Master Anand gathered his disciples under the ancient banyan tree that stood at the heart of their retreat. The tree, with its sprawling roots and thick canopy, had witnessed countless teachings over the years, its silent wisdom seeping into the very soil around it. The disciples sat in a half-circle, their eyes full of curiosity and reverence, eager to absorb the wisdom their master would impart. Master Anand, with his calm and gentle demeanor, looked at each of them with a knowing smile. He could sense the unspoken questions that lingered in their minds, questions about life, love, and the deeper mysteries of the human experience. "Tell me," Master Anand began, his voice as soothing as the rustle of the leaves above, "what is it that you seek most in your relationships with others?" The disciples exchanged glances, hesitant at first, but one by one, they began to speak. "Understanding," said the first disciple. "I seek to be truly understood by those I love." "Connection," added another. "A bond that goes beyond words, something that ties us together in spirit." "Peace," a third disciple offered. "I wish for harmony, free from the turbulence of misunderstandings and conflict." Master Anand nodded thoughtfully. "These are noble desires," he said. "Yet, how often do we find ourselves caught in the superficialities of our interactions? Focusing more on the actions we take than the intentions behind them? How many of us truly understand the depth of connection that is possible when we align our hearts and minds with those of our partners?" The disciples listened intently, sensing that a profound lesson was about to unfold. "Today," the Master continued, "I wish to share with you the wisdom of an ancient text, a text that has been both revered and misunderstood through the ages. It is called the Kama Sutra. But be warned, my dear students, it is not what you think it is." A murmur of surprise ran through the group. The Kama Sutra? The disciples had heard of it, of course, but only in whispers and with a tinge of taboo. Master Anand raised his hand to calm them. "Yes, the Kama Sutra," he repeated, his tone serene. "This text is not merely about the physical aspects of love, as many believe. No, it is a profound guide to the art of human connection, one that teaches us about the sacredness of intimacy, the alignment of spirit, and the true meaning of union between souls. It is a text that goes beyond the surface, reaching into the very core of what it means to love and be loved." The disciples leaned in closer, their curiosity piqued. "Let us embark on this journey together," the Master said, his eyes gleaming with wisdom. "Let us explore the lesser-known insights of the Kama Sutra, not as mere spectators, but as seekers of truth. Are you ready to see love and connection in a new light?" The disciples nodded eagerly, ready to be guided into the depths of an ancient wisdom that promised to transform their understanding of love and life itself. And so, with the sun rising higher in the sky, Master Anand began to weave the lessons of the Kama Sutra into the fabric of their consciousness, leading them down a path that would forever change how they perceived the most intimate aspects of their existence. The Kama Sutra, how often it is misunderstood. It is frequently misrepresented, especially in Western interpretations, as nothing more than a manual for sexual positions. But what if I told you that this ancient text is so much more? Imagine for a moment the depth of wisdom it holds, a complex and deeply philosophical guide that delves into the intricate fabric of human connection, emotions, and spirituality. Yes, indeed. To truly appreciate the Kama Sutra, one must look beyond the surface, exploring its rich philosophical underpinnings, its profound historical and cultural context, and the sacred teachings it offers on the sanctity of human relationships. Can you see how much there is to uncover? How much more there is to learn? Let us begin by contemplating the common misconceptions that surround the Kama Sutra. Think about it. How often have you heard it reduced to nothing more than a catalogue of eroticism? The Kama Sutra, written by the sage Vatsyayana, is far more than just a guide to sexual practices. It's a comprehensive manual for living a meaningful and harmonious life. Yet, popular culture has sadly narrowed it down to something much less significant. Doesn't it feel like an injustice to the true essence of this remarkable text? By examining the Kama Sutra in its entirety, we can uncover its true purpose, guiding individuals towards a life filled with meaning, emotional fulfillment, and spiritual growth. Isn't that a journey worth embarking on? Now, let's delve into the philosophical foundations of the Kama Sutra. It's fascinating, isn't it, that this text is deeply rooted in ancient Indian philosophy? The Kama Sutra is intricately connected to the concepts of dharma, righteousness, artha, prosperity, kama, desire, and moksha, liberation. These four aims of life are not isolated from one another, they are profoundly interconnected. Imagine the balance one must strike between desire and ethical conduct, personal growth, and spiritual fulfillment. The Kama Sutra's philosophical foundation highlights the importance of approaching relationships with mindfulness, intention, and respect. Don't you feel compelled to explore how these ancient principles can be applied to our modern lives? But wait, there's more to understanding the Kama Sutra than just knowing its philosophical underpinnings. To truly appreciate this text, it's essential to adopt a holistic approach that takes into account its historical, cultural, and philosophical context. Picture this, moving beyond the superficial aspects of the text and diving deep into its teachings on human connection, emotional intimacy, and spiritual growth. Can you see how enriching that would be? The Kama Sutra was composed during the Gupta period, around the 3rd to 5th century CE, a time often regarded as the Golden Age of India. This era was marked by a flourishing of art, literature, and philosophy. Imagine the vibrant intellectual and cultural environment that shaped Vatsyayana's work. Doesn't that add a layer of depth to the text's teachings? The Kama Sutra is not just a product of its time, it was shaped by the social, religious, and philosophical environment of ancient India. Understanding its origins and the cultural significance it held is key to truly grasping its teachings on love, relationships, and human behavior. Consider this. The Kama Sutra wasn't merely a guide to sexual practices, it was a comprehensive treatise on how to live a fulfilling life. The text addressed various aspects of human existence, including love, marriage, social conduct, and the pursuit of personal and spiritual growth. Isn't it remarkable how highly regarded the Kama Sutra was as a work of philosophy and ethics, providing guidance on how to achieve balance and harmony in life? The influence of Vedic philosophy and Tantra on the Kama Sutra cannot be overstated. Vedic philosophy, with its emphasis on dharma and the pursuit of moksha, and Tantric traditions, which explore the relationship between sexuality and spirituality, both deeply influenced the Kama Sutra. The text integrates these influences, presenting a vision of love and intimacy that is both ethical and sacred. Isn't it fascinating to think about how these ancient philosophies have shaped our understanding of human relationships? The Kama Sutra's teachings encourage us to approach relationships with mindfulness and intention, recognizing the importance of emotional and spiritual connection. Doesn't this perspective resonate with you on a deeper level? But how often is the Kama Sutra misinterpreted as merely a sexual manual? Especially in modern interpretations, and particularly in the West, this misrepresentation overlooks the text's deeper teachings on love, ethics, and spirituality. It's almost tragic, isn't it? The Kama Sutra's true essence is often lost in translation, and its broader philosophical and ethical teachings are ignored. In popular culture, the Kama Sutra is frequently portrayed as a guide to sexual positions, neglecting its profound insights into human connection and spiritual growth. Doesn't this narrow interpretation feel like a disservice to such a rich and complex text? The influence of Western interpretation and colonization has also played a significant role in shaping how the Kama Sutra is perceived today. Early translations often focused on the more explicit aspects of the text, leading to widespread misunderstanding of its true purpose. This colonial influence has contributed to the ongoing misrepresentation of the Kama Sutra in Western culture. Imagine how much has been lost in this process of simplification. By exploring the deeper meanings of the text, such as the emotional and psychological synchronization it advocates for in relationships, we can begin to reclaim its true significance. Isn't it time we move beyond the superficial and delve into the profound wisdom the Kama Sutra offers? consider how the Kama Sutra teaches that true intimacy requires emotional and psychological synchronization between partners. This deeper understanding of love goes beyond physical pleasure, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect, empathy, and connection. Isn't that what we all seek in our relationships? The Kama Sutra provides guidance on how to achieve emotional and spiritual alignment, teaching that love is not just about physical attraction but about the harmony of hearts and minds. Imagine the richness of a relationship where such alignment is achieved. Wouldn't that be truly fulfilling? The challenges of translating and interpreting ancient texts like the Kama Sutra are immense, particularly when dealing with a language as subtle and nuanced as Sanskrit. The text's use of metaphor, symbolism, and poetic language requires careful interpretation to fully grasp its meaning. Can you imagine how much of the original intent is lost in translation? The intricacies of Sanskrit, known for its depth and subtlety, often get lost, leading to misunderstandings and oversimplifications of the text in modern interpretations. Isn't it frustrating to think about how much we might be missing? And yet, despite these challenges, the Kama Sutra continues to offer profound insights into the nature of love, intimacy, and human connection. The text teaches that human connection is sacred, and that love and intimacy should be approached with reverence and mindfulness. This perspective is rooted in ancient Indian philosophy, which views love as a pathway to personal and spiritual growth. Isn't it beautiful to think about love in such a sacred light? The Kama Sutra goes beyond physicality, offering teachings on how to cultivate emotional and spiritual connection in relationships. Imagine the depth of connection that can be achieved when love is approached with such mindfulness and intention. The role of rituals and symbolism in the Kama Sutra also cannot be overlooked. They help create an atmosphere of reverence and sacredness in relationships. These practices are designed to enhance the emotional and spiritual connection between partners, making love a more meaningful and transformative experience. Doesn't that sound like a relationship worth striving for? However, the Kama Sutra is often reduced to a sexual manual in modern interpretations, particularly in the West. This narrow view overlooks the text's deeper teachings on love, ethics, and spirituality. The modern misconception that the Kama Sutra is merely a guide to sexual positions has contributed to a widespread misunderstanding of its true purpose. Imagine how much richer our understanding of relationships could be if we embraced the full scope of the Kama Sutra's teachings. The text provides guidance on how to achieve emotional and spiritual alignment in relationships, teaching that love is not just about physical attraction but about the harmony of hearts and minds. Doesn't that make you want to explore the Kama Sutra in its entirety? The Kama Sutra's emphasis on the feminine experience is another remarkable aspect that often gets overlooked. In a time when gender norms were rigid, this text recognized and elevated the importance of female pleasure, emotion, and autonomy. Isn't it amazing to think about how progressive the Kama Sutra was for its time? The text's recognition of female sexuality and the importance of ensuring that women's desires and emotions are respected and fulfilled in relationships was revolutionary. Doesn't this perspective still resonate with modern audiences, advocating for gender equality and mutual respect? The Kama Sutra's teachings on the sacred feminine encourage a deep respect for women and their role in relationships. The text teaches that true intimacy requires mutual respect and reverence, recognizing the importance of honoring the feminine in all aspects of life. Imagine the impact of embracing such respect and reverence in today's world. How transformative would that be? The psychological insights of the Kama Sutra are also incredibly valuable. The text recognizes that desire and fear are often intertwined in intimate relationships, leading to anxiety and tension. By offering practical advice on how to harmonize desire and alleviate anxiety, the Kama Sutra helps individuals create a more balanced and fulfilling relationship. Doesn't this guidance feel just as relevant today as it was centuries ago? The Kama Sutra is not just a practical guide to relationships, it is also a text for deep contemplation and reflection. Its teachings offer valuable insights into the nature of love, desire, and human connection, encouraging individuals to approach relationships with mindfulness and reverence. How often do we take the time to reflect on the deeper aspects of our relationships? The Kama Sutra invites us to do just that, teaching us that love and intimacy should be approached with the same mindfulness and intention as other aspects of life. Isn't that a powerful lesson? Now, consider the spiritual dimensions of the Kama Sutra. The text is deeply rooted in the spiritual traditions of ancient India, particularly the tantric practices that view sexuality as a pathway to spiritual enlightenment. The Kama Sutra offers valuable teachings on how to integrate the physical and spiritual dimensions of love, creating a more holistic and fulfilling experience. Doesn't that elevate the way we view intimacy? The intersection of sexuality and spirituality in ancient Indian texts is a fascinating topic. In these texts, sexuality and spirituality are often seen as interconnected, with the physical act of love serving as a means of achieving spiritual growth. The Kama Sutra reflects this perspective, teaching that love and intimacy are sacred practices that can lead to greater self-awareness and spiritual enlightenment. Imagine the richness of a relationship where physical and spiritual dimensions are intertwined. Wouldn't that be truly fulfilling? The Kama Sutra's ultimate goal is not just physical pleasure but spiritual liberation, or moksha. The text teaches that by achieving harmony in relationships and transforming sexual energy into spiritual energy, individuals can transcend the limitations of the physical world and achieve a state of spiritual enlightenment. Isn't that a profound concept? The practical applications of the Kama Sutra's teachings offer valuable guidance for improving modern relationships and achieving greater personal and spiritual growth. By applying the text's principles to our own lives, we can create deeper, more meaningful connections and achieve greater fulfillment. Doesn't that make you want to explore how these ancient teachings can be applied to modern life? The Kama Sutra's teachings remain highly relevant in contemporary society, offering valuable insights into the nature of love, desire, and human connection. By embracing the text's holistic approach to relationships, we can create more balanced, fulfilling, and meaningful connections in our own lives. Imagine the impact of integrating these teachings into your daily life. Wouldn't that lead to greater satisfaction and fulfillment? The Kama Sutra's journey from an ancient text to a modern cultural icon has been marked by both reverence and misunderstanding. While the text has inspired countless artistic and literary works, it has also been subject to misrepresentation and oversimplification in popular culture. Isn't it time we correct these misunderstandings and reclaim the Kama Sutra's true meaning? In popular culture, the Kama Sutra is often reduced to a guide to sexual positions, ignoring its broader philosophical and spiritual teachings. This misrepresentation has contributed to a skewed understanding of the text, leading to a superficial interpretation that overlooks its deeper significance. Imagine the depth of understanding we could achieve if we approached the Kama Sutra with the reverence and mindfulness it deserves. Wouldn't that lead to a more fulfilling experience of love and intimacy? In conclusion, the Kama Sutra is far more than a manual of sexual positions. It is a profound philosophical and spiritual guide that offers deep insights into the nature of love, intimacy, and human connection. Its teachings, rooted in the rich cultural and philosophical traditions of ancient India, provide a holistic approach to relationships, emphasizing the importance of emotional, psychological, and spiritual alignment in achieving true fulfillment. The Kama Sutra's legacy as a guide to love, ethics, and spirituality continues to resonate in contemporary society, offering valuable wisdom for those seeking to live a balanced, fulfilling, and harmonious life. Can you feel the profound impact these teachings could have on your life? Isn't it time to embrace the Kama Sutra in its entirety and uncover the deep wisdom it has to offer? As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long, golden shadows across the retreat, Master Anand gathered his disciples once more beneath the ancient banyan tree. The day had been filled with deep reflection, as the disciples absorbed the teachings of the Kama Sutra, exploring the sacredness of human connection and the profound wisdom hidden within the ancient text. The air was thick with the scent of blooming jasmine, and the gentle breeze seemed to carry with it the very essence of the lessons they had learned. The disciples sat quietly, their hearts and minds full, yet yearning for the final words from their master. Master Anand looked at each of them, his eyes filled with a serene understanding. He knew that the journey they had embarked upon that morning had stirred something deep within them, a new awareness, a deeper understanding of love, and an appreciation for the subtle, sacred connections that bind human souls together. "Tell me," Master Anand began, his voice soft yet filled with the weight of wisdom, "what have you discovered today about the nature of love and connection?" The first disciple, who had spoken of understanding that morning, was the first to reply. "I have learned that true understanding goes beyond words. It is felt in the heart, in the quiet moments of shared presence. It is the silent language of the soul." The master nodded, pleased. "Yes," he said. "Understanding is a gift we give to one another through our attention, our empathy, and our willingness to truly see and be seen." The second disciple, who had sought connection, spoke next. "I have discovered that connection is not just about the physical act of love. It is about aligning our energies, our emotions, and our spirits. It is about creating a bond that transcends the physical, one that resonates in the deepest parts of our being." "Indeed," Master Anand agreed. "True connection is a sacred dance of energies, a harmonious blending of souls. It is the foundation of all meaningful relationships." Finally, the third disciple, who had wished for peace, shared his reflection. "I have come to realize that peace in love is found not through avoiding conflict, but through embracing it with wisdom and compassion. It is about finding harmony within ourselves and with our partners, even in the midst of life's inevitable challenges." Master Anand smiled warmly. "Peace is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of understanding and love. When we approach our relationships with an open heart and a clear mind, we create a space where peace can flourish." The disciples fell silent, each of them feeling a deep sense of fulfillment, as if they had just unlocked a precious secret. They had begun the day seeking answers, and now, as the day drew to a close, they found themselves holding something far more valuable, an enlightened understanding of the sacred nature of love and connection. Master Anand rose to his feet, his movements slow and deliberate, as if he were one with the rhythm of the earth. "My dear students," he said, his voice filled with quiet reverence, "what you have learned today is not merely knowledge to be stored away, but wisdom to be lived. The Kama Sutra has revealed to us that love is a sacred journey, one that requires patience, understanding, and a deep commitment to the well-being of both ourselves and our partners." He paused, letting his words settle into the hearts of his disciples. "Go forth with this wisdom," he continued, "and let it guide you in your relationships, in your connections with others, and in your journey toward inner peace. Remember, love is not a destination, it is a path. Walk it with awareness, with compassion, and with an open heart." The disciples bowed deeply to their master, their hearts brimming with gratitude and resolve. They knew that the lessons they had learned that day would stay with them, shaping their lives and their relationships in ways they had yet to fully comprehend. As they rose and began to disperse, the sky now a deep shade of twilight, Master Anand watched them go, a gentle smile playing on his lips. He knew that each of them would carry the wisdom of the day into the world, spreading the light of understanding and love wherever they went. And with that, the day's teachings came to a close, leaving behind a sense of peace and purpose that would linger long after the sun had set.